live?
Yeah, in his arm. Okay.
All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my funky fresh co-host.
Karen.
And we are live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We want to read them live and tell you how we feel. The official weapon of the show is
Taser.
an unofficial sport.
What about?
And bullet ball extreme to the extreme. Let's get into the show. All right. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I did want to say before we get started that or I guess up front before I get into the articles and segments, we went to the Museum of Illusions yesterday for Charlotte. I Googled it. There's 40 locations around the world in different cities and stuff. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you may have one close to you. I don't know. I know New
check,
York has one.
Yeah, check your city.
But if y'all check out the museum, I highly recommend it. It's really dope. It was fun. I think you should, maybe do an edible, go out there and have a good time walking around, taking pictures. The people are so helpful there to take pictures of you so that like if you go with a friend, you can participate in all the different activities. So you can do stuff like you can like do these, there's like these optical illusions that work with the pictures, but sometimes you can get in them. Like you can do the thing where it's like, oh, look at me, my head is on a platter under a table, but it's like, done with like some optical tricks. So they'll take the picture for you if you go by yourself or if you go with a partner, because some of them are 2 people things where like one of you stands on one end of the room and one stands at another end of the room, and because of the optical illusions, one of you looks like a giant and the other one looks really small. So we had a good time doing it. The Museum of Illusions. This is not an ad. This is just something fun that we did. It was dope. Like the Charlotte location, it only takes like, unlike a lot of museums, a lot of the stuff is interactive and it only takes like 40-45 minutes to get in and out. Which I prefer. I'm not a big just go into the exhibit and I need to soak this in for 10 minutes. I don't need that in my life. I got things to do. So it was cool to have things you can get the point of, like, oh, the room feels like it's spinning even though nothing's changed, and it's all because the lights they're rotating around you make you feel like your equilibrium is lost.
That shit was fucking trippy.
Yes.
Because the thing is, when we first did it, we didn't realize that it needed to spin. So when you first went through it, we walked through, it was like, okay, I guess. And the dude was like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all went through it. We was like, yeah. He was like, no, do it again. I forgot to turn it on. Or it must have turned off. And man, when I walked up in there, I looked, I was like, oh shit. And what's hilarious is that your mind knows that it's straight. Like literally your mind knows that it's straight, but you can't help but lean.
Yeah.
And that was the trippy part. I kept saying, Karen, this is a straight line. Why are you leaning?
Yeah, it's interesting because like I posted a video on my Instagram reels of like, like the TikTok and Instagram, you can put the clips and then it'll like automatically put it up there and like put it to like, you can pick a song and put it to the song and stuff like that. So I posted like the video on my Instagram reels for people to see what it looked like, the experience. And it's like when I'm looking at the video myself, I was like, yeah, on the phone you can see it spinning, and so you might feel it too. But when you're in there, it's crazy. It's crazy how it feels. And then like I turned around to record Karen walking through, and she's leaning and I'm leaning and all this stuff. I'll see if I can share it with y'all so you can see.
And it was a trip because there was a family behind us and they didn't see, but we were seeing all they heard was us going, oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh wow.
Yeah.
And they was like, what is wrong with them? And then
it was funny because the first time we went through, I was like, that was kind of a dud because it wasn't spinning. But then the guy like clicked a button, went underneath, reset a motor, and then all of a sudden he was like, all right, now go in. We were like, what the fuck? This is the video.
Oh, we seen the robot.
Yeah, when we got in the park, first of all, this isn't part of the experiment or the museum. We went to a parking lot and there was a robot that looked like a Doctor Who robot just rolling around patrolling the parking lot.
Yes, his whole thing was just patrolling the parking lot.
And when we left, I actually asked the parking lot attendant who was helping people pay for their parking fare, because even with all the automation and machinery, it was like you still need
still gotta have a person, because that shit was confusing.
Yeah, so kind of defeated the purpose.
Right.
But yeah, so I asked her on the way out, I said, hey, what is that robot for? And she said, oh, he don't do nothing. That's just my security. He got my back. I said, all right, then. But yeah, here's the video. You can, I don't know, we won't pay for this on YouTube. So if you're on my Instagram, you can hear that song along with this. But this was us. Like, there's a room of mirrors. This is the room that makes one person look huge and the other person look small.
Yes.
And then we flip faces. This is us laying on the ground.
Yeah, this is.
But the way they take the picture, it looks like you're like hanging off a building, and I'm at the bottom chilling by the door, but slightly off the ground. So we did this picture. This is Karen looking like she's been beheaded, but very happily so. This image looks like it's vibrating, but it's a static image.
Yes, it's a static image. Like that tripped me out, because you look at it just now. This right here was a trip too.
Yeah, this looks like one of us is sitting on a chair, and it's a very huge chair, and we're very small, and the other person is normal size standing next to the chair. And we're standing about in the same place. It's just the objects are made to look from this angle like a chair, and it makes your brain think this is a very small person. Trying to think, this is the tunnel I was talking about. So this is the first time I walked through before it was spinning. As you can see, once it started spinning, we were done. It was nothing. It was not the same.
I was like, am I on drugs? What is happening here?
Yeah, they had 3D, like that 3D kind of art. You see from different angles, an infinite tunnel. This looks like you're falling down a sewer pipe.
Yeah.
But we actually took the picture the other way and flipped it upside down. That's why it looks like that. Karen's happily going down. Wakanda forever.
I always smile in my videos. Don't ask me why. I just be just smiling.
This is a kaleidoscope that you can look through and see the other person.
Yes, I was looking at him and he was looking at me, and you could see the person on the opposite end, which was really, really neat. And this right here, that last one, Roger was showing, it was triangles on one side and squares on the other side, and I like kind of filmed them together. It was actually a lot of fun, and shout out to the people that work there, because some of the stuff you read the instructions and sometimes it didn't make sense. So sometimes they had to be like, hey, this is what it is. You was like, oh, that's what it does. Because I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah, so it was a good time, man. I really highly recommend it. Then we went to because Karen took the day off, so then we went to a ramen place next door that we had never tried before, that's always jumping. But this is one of the reasons I'm like, I get, want to do big things on your vacations and stuff, but like a lot of times, man, you could just take like a day off and recharge and just go do some shit in your city.
Yes,
especially with stuff that's very popular but gets crowded or whatever. So like this ramen place was like always crowded during the nighttime and stuff. And so we went like right around lunchtime, and it's downtown, so it's not that jumping other than like business people.
Right.
And so we just went and sat on the balcony or whatever outside and ate ramen and had a good time, man. It was super fun. I really 5 out of 5 cannot recommend this as like a little, take a couple hours out your day and go do it when you're not stressed out or whatever.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really relaxed. I'm glad I did take the day off to go do this. But like you said, a lot of people fail to realize this. A lot of people, there is shit in your own town, wherever you live, that you just pass by every day and ignore. Like there are people that like live, because when I go to New York, I like to go touring and all that stuff. And it's amazing how I'm like seeing all this stuff, and I talk to people that like live in New York, but like I ain't never been there before. I'm looking like, but you live here. And but it's like that sometimes. Like, well, I live here, so I quote unquote sometimes just take things for granted. But for me, I'm like, let's go do new things. Let's go see things, you know. And it was really, really fun experience. So wherever you live, go check out. Even if you it don't even have to be what we did, but if you love museums and things like that, it's a lot of shit in your town because like we have a bunch of museums here in the city of Charlotte that I hadn't been to since I was a kid. So I know these places have been modified and changed over the years. And so some of these places, literally, I have had them on my list. So I'm like, you know, I'm going to go back to the Mint Museum. I'm going to go back to Discovery Place. Like shit I haven't done since I was like 12.
I'm going to go to Discovery Place sometime either this month or next month. Because they have this exhibit coming, and it's about it's called the Universal Superheroes exhibit. And it's about Marvel, and it's all the artifacts from the movies and stuff.
Ooh,
so I'll be definitely going to see that. I might take one of my chicks and head on out there.
You mean this chick?
Well, if you play your cards right, it could be you, Karen. I mean, you know, I'm not ruling you out.
Child, boo.
Just,
I am the bottom bitch. The rest of them hoes know who I am.
Just, I mean, as long as you act right, you know, we'll hang out. You know, just let's just, you know, let's just not act crazy about anything.
Them hoochies know they place.
Okay, all right.
What you want to be, you better move your body, you better move your feet, and I want to grow. Show me what's cool. Riding Karen, baby. LGBTQ news.
Gonna take us down when we're still around.
We let it. I try to still shine, but we on the ride. We let. Cause you can't do what we thought to do. We let. LGBTQ news.
All right. LGBTQ news. It's not really good news normally.
No, it's not.
The baby.
Okay.
Says he would absolutely handle 2021 homophobia controversy differently.
I know he would. That money says he would.
It's interesting though, because like a lot of times I feel like people like him double down, triple down, go down with the ship. He's lost a lot of momentum. Financially, a lot of sponsorships and shit that didn't come back. He effectively got canceled, but not in the way that people want. Like, I think people are very desirous for canceling to be like a person literally has died. And I wouldn't say that, but like to tamp down their fame and celebrity and their general direction of their career into something middling to less is what happened to the baby. So I think he paid the consequences. He went on the shop and he talked about it.
You had that sparring match with cancel culture. At the beginning, you had a certain vigor and attitude.
It was more than sparring. It was a heavyweight
Oh man,
fight.
I got knocked the f out.
Now, here's my problem with the shop. No offense to Maverick Carter or whatnot. It's starting to get to be a little too much without LeBron. Come on. The hook was we get to see LeBron on here talking to people. And I feel like a lot of times LeBron don't be around for this. But it's all good. Anyway, I do want to answer this.
Let's not be.
So my question is, and then I noticed you did you chilled and faded away.
Had to, bro.
If you could go back now, would you the beginning of it? Would you deal with it differently?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely. That's something I came like out my own mouth and said, you know what I mean? Like as of late, not even as of late, like, you know, like I would have maybe handled it the way I would apologize, but hey, I didn't mean to apologize. Like, I'm this type of person. Like, I'm gonna fight to the tooth and nail. Like if you know what I mean? Yeah. About like my character and me and my intentions, that's something I'll never let. Like, I'm not gonna let you know what I mean, make me, I'm not a bad person at all. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like my character, that's something I can't, like, I'm unfaltering on that. Like,
the clip I saw was longer than this, but I don't know what the rest of it is. But yeah, he did make that bed because he doubled, tripled, quadrupled down. I just remember there were so many chances he could have.
The publicist came out with shit and he would basically contradict what the publicist said. And it was like, well, you must mean this shit. Okay, all right, then fuck you. And then everything got canceled. They started stripping him off of the things. And I know here in Charlotte.
Also, he apologized on Instagram, then deleted it. But go ahead.
Right. And I know here in Charlotte, before a lot of this happened, every time we would come to arena, it would be like literally be
to the Hornets game.
There would literally be a big thing. They would point him out. He would still come, probably under contractual obligation, but you wouldn't even know he was there.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. Handle things differently sounds like he would apologize and all this stuff. I think there's something legitimate in the idea, and this happens with a lot of us, not all of us. But if you do not deconstruct your ego at first, you'll be out here doing shit like what he did. Oh yeah, I found a longer clip. I know I saved it somewhere. But you'll be doing what he did because you're worried about you're questioning my integrity, you're questioning the kind of person I am, and you get so defensive. You defend not only what you just said, but you attack the people who are calling you out. You know, it's that type of vibe to it, to me. So here's a longer view of the clip.
Yeah,
If you could,
and everybody can get caught up in that if they don't check themselves.
Yeah, it's very important, man. I think all of us have ego. All of us get a little anxiety. I think especially if you're trying to be a good person or
Right.
you believe yourself to be a good person, sometimes you leap past the point that people are asking you, and you leap into this, how dare you question my intent? And I know it hurts when people question your intent and stuff.
Yes, it does.
That being said, you haven't earned that with everybody. And some people you can never earn it with. And sometimes also you just be dead fucking wrong. I think he was dead wrong in what he said, but he jumped into a personal, like, how dare you talk about me, instead of like, and I think the same thing kind of happened with this Ebony K. Williams story. It becomes personal, like, well, this is now about me. How dare you come at me, as opposed to like, okay, what did I say that made everybody so fucking mad? And do I even believe that? And my personal thing is like, he probably believed what he said on some level because he fought for it. He fought against, he didn't want to hear anybody else until he lost all his shit. And now he's saying it. So it's hard for people to take this at face value, because are you saying that because now you have literally nowhere else to go? You back to the bottom? Or are you saying that because going to the bottom actually humbled you? And the only way to find that out is through actions. And it takes a long time for actions to add up into people feeling like, okay, he got his lesson. But yeah, here's a longer clip.
go back, by the way, when you had that sparring match with cancel culture, at the beginning you had a certain.
I also don't like the way Maverick framed the question. You had a sparring match with cancel culture, and this is just becoming a thing that a lot of famous people who have, you know, been criticized are kind of using it shorthand. But I don't really like the question. It's not that I don't believe cancel culture is real. It's not that I don't think cancel. I think there's a difference between like saying and doing something to piss people off versus like some of the stuff I think there's a difference between like the way people turn shit that Chris Pratt does that's not offensive into offense versus like you came out there and said fucked up shit about gay people, and then was like, what? I guess it's cancel culture. It's like, no, nigga, you know you were out of pocket. Anyway.
Certain vigor and attitude.
It was more than sparring. It was a heavyweight
Oh man,
fight.
I got knocked the fuck out. Let's not be. Let's
But
not,
no, so my question is, and then I noticed you did you chilled and faded away.
Had to, bro.
If you could go back now, would you the beginning of it? Would you deal with it differently?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something I came like out my own mouth and said, you know what I mean? Like as of late, not even as of late, like, you know, like I would have maybe handled it the way I would apologize, but hey, I didn't mean to apologize. Like I'm this type of person. Like I'm gonna fight to the tooth and nail. Like if you know what I mean? Yeah. About like my character and me and my intentions, that's something I'll never let. Like, I'm not gonna let you know what I mean, make me, I'm not a bad person at all. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like my character, that's something I can't, like, I'm unfaltering on that. Like, you know, like I say, like
I said, you can tell that's where his mind was. It's still there. Mm-hmm. It's still on like, I was never, in his mind, it's not that I'm doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on my comments. I'm double, tripling, quadrupling down on my actual like character. I'm a good person regardless of what came out my mouth. And it's like, that is not even the fucking point. And I know a nigga like this would not want to hear that from somebody that says some racist shit or whatever, more than likely, you know? You
almost got to make it your business to not let that shit, you know, get to you. Because once it gets to you, it's almost like, you know, it's a nonstop game of figuring this shit out. That's what we have to do anyways, to market ourselves, you know what I mean, to make ourselves worth something. And, you know, if you look back on, like, I was the most, you know, and I hope this shit don't sound like I'm tooting my own horn. At the time, I'm looking at it like this, but I was like the most marketable artist in the world. Like, when that shit happened, bro, I had my own meal with Burger King. Like a lot of the things like I see like my peers like doing now, which I love to see it. Like I love to see the shit. Like these are like things that like I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to like accomplish like my first year as a mainstream. Like I had a meal at Burger King and I shot the commercial. I still got the behind the scenes. Like I had so.
Meanwhile, Burger King tried to come out with like, they were celebrating LGBTQ and Pride Month, and they had the 2 tops and 2 bottom buns. So like they have to drop you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how people feel about that bun thing, forget about that part. We can't be pro LGBTQ and have you on the roster no more. You made that decision, not us.
All right.
And they probably could have had you if you would have said after the first time, okay, my bad, I misspoke. I didn't even understand what I was saying, or I shouldn't have said that. But the 4th time, you making up, you know, you getting dropped from every tour and putting out apologies you don't mean and deleting them. You put these corporate people in a position where they had to do something.
So much going on, bro. Like you have no idea. Like, I had so much going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, at the end of the day, like if you become wrapped up in the negative shit, we're so conditioned to rolling with the punches with social media, whatever it is, whatever room we come into. Okay, we know we got to adapt. Whatever space that we're in, we know we got to adapt. Whatever business it is, whatever game we're playing, we got to adapt. You know, and that's who's going to excel. Like, that's just how the world is.
The
you know
people
what I mean?
don't adapt, though, and that's the problem.
No, they don't. Like,
I was having a conversation.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, too, because, like, they clearly didn't. Like, I don't know that he ever really got a sentence that finished. He talked all that time. It's like he just kept it, you know, like I had.
I still saying like a complete thought. And,
like he's still fucked up over it. Like I don't think he's over that at all.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the end. Hold on.
If you could go back, by the way.
Okay, I think this is. Yeah, so it started over. Yeah, so that's more of a full context of what he said.
To the dude from whatchamacallit.
It cuts off, then it starts over.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, I like, to me, I don't know that I'd feel I don't know that if I was in the LGBTQ community, I'd feel any level of like, oh, this dude learned his lesson beyond. He learned that he lost a lot of shit for saying what he said. I don't know that I would feel like, oh, he learned his lesson and he's like wants to make inroads and all that. It sounded like he still was mostly concerned about himself and how hurt he was over everything. And you know, that's your right, it's your life, but to me that doesn't necessarily sound like you want to like mend fences, you want to like redress harm or anything. It sounds like you just kind of want to be like, all right, I lost all my shit, y'all happy? You know, I guess I can move on. I learned to not double down and just apologize right away because I don't want to lose everything. Not because, like, you never talk about the comments you made. You never said, you know, that you were even sorry for what you said or anything like that. So,
and not funny
in that setting, he may have said it somewhere else.
Okay, right. And nor did they ask.
Yeah, and nor did they ask. Because even they were more concerned about how it affected him than what he said affected other people. And I think,
because that's how the question was set up. So I understand that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, next, an enraged Republican. Are there any other type? Oh, come on, guys.
Right.
An enraged Republican rants about furries in school during floor debate as colleagues laugh.
They kill me with this because there is a furry community and it's not all sexual. A lot of people, when you think about furries, they automatically think sexuality, you know, type of thing, which there is. Don't get me wrong, but some people go, I just like to dress in these outfits and there's nothing sexual about it.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, they never get into that part of the discussion.
Okay. Because I guess I'm aware of that.
But also because the furry community does have a like taboo fetish like type of reputation around it. But that's not what's important about this article. The accuracy of furry means nothing. These are the same people saying there's litter boxes in the schools.
Right.
What scares me about this is that this is a person getting up here talking in all sincerity, even as their colleagues laugh at them. And this is the most Reddit rabbit hole ass shit. And you're saying it out loud because this means these are the people you're around offline. This is how you talk in your silos and your circles. It's not ridiculous. Wherever he normally says this, it's not ridiculous. This ain't his first time saying this shit.
Nope.
That shit scared the fuck out of us. And people are voting for him.
Right.
People let this person take office. That's scary as fuck.
The bill.
It's precisely about feelings. Folks, if you want to know why kids are confused and why people do crazy stuff, this is exactly why. Biological males cannot get pap smears. It's not possible. It is physically and anatomically impossible. It's not even following science.
Hey,
you know, people want to understand why we're kind of, you know.
And what's hilarious is that he'll say that statement, but yet the people that can't get past me, you don't give a fuck about them either.
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to be funny, like
they don't care about women.
Right.
They don't care about what they consider to be, you know, like biological women. They don't care about their rights either. But yeah, it's the only time they pretend to care about women is when there's a trans issue, and they're like, we must protect these women from, let me check my notes, swimming medals. They need to get the swimming medals. You know, women swimming is extremely important to us, and we have to protect them at all costs. Also, we'll decide when and where they have babies. That's up to us, and it's important to me.
Do goofball things. This is why, right? Biological women cannot go get a prostate exam. It's not possible, right? So we can do all the gender feel-good garbage, but this is why our kids are confused. This is why your kids.
The fact that they're literally turning to each other laughing.
Yes, everybody literally looking at each other go, like, they're not saying that, but it's one of them things where your eyes go, girl, did I just say what I just heard?
This is not even the worst part.
Are dressing up as furries and want kitty litters in the bathrooms is because you guys won't follow science. There are two genders. There are two genders possible.
It's crazy that, like, because I understand this. I tell y'all all the time. My first reaction is stupidity, shock, rage. A bunch of stuff is kind of like laughter.
Yes,
and I don't even know what that is in my brain. I don't even know how to tell you because it doesn't really belie my feelings on things. It's like if I saw racism happen right in my face, my first reaction might be to laugh out loud, like, what the fuck? Like, my brain processes what the fuck into laughing. This is how it is, you know. But then, you know, hopefully your brain switches back into like normal mode, and you're like, hey, you can't call me the N-word.
Right. You know? Like, but you just laugh, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah. It's like I'll be laughing and punching you in your jaw at the same time. Like, and you'll be like, what's wrong with that, man? It's like, I don't know. But so I understand them laughing, but also this shit is still silly and stupid. The fucked up part is that we're allowing these kind of people in roles that can affect other people's lives. That's the problem. Like that's what's scary, is that this does not disqualify him. Like a black person can be disqualified for standing up against police shootings or mass shootings with these guns. You can be disqualified. The legislature will come together and say, you do not deserve your office. Go back to your district. We're going to elect a new person, or they're going to have to re-elect you to come back up here because we won't stand for this type of ridiculousness in our faces. And yet, when it is something like a man standing up here saying furries and litter boxes in the schools, this man will be back tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Like, he don't got to worry about losing his seat. The Republicans and Democrats won't come together and be like, this is a dangerous person who is not a serious person and who should not have elected office because they cannot handle the responsibilities that comes with this office. They cannot handle the fact that you must live and be based in some level of fucking fact to have this office. That will not happen. But if a person were to stand up there and protest and say Black Lives Matter, they would take their fucking seat away. That's the part that's infuriating. That's the part that's not funny.
There's not 3, there's not 4, there's 2. The crazy stuff like this is why people are confused, and the kids don't know what the hell's going on because they're confused because of legislation like this. Drop the pronoun crap. There are 2 genders, period.
And the sad part, I think somewhere there's a place where they're playing this video on their podcast or their Reddit or whatever, and they're all agreeing and they think he's a hero.
They're rooting them all.
They're not laughing at all.
Against the machine.
They think everybody else in that room are the people that are, out to lunch. Let's see. Our GOP, the North Carolina GOP, set limits on transgender kids' medical care. It passed the House. It passed largely along party lines. And of course, Trisha Cotham, who switched parties, voted for it. But so did Garland Pierce and Michael Ray, who are also Democratic representatives. So it's as soon as they get power, it's happening everywhere. These culture wars.
Yep, and this is why I am very adamant. We keep talking about this, and I will continue to say this. People that live in these places across the country where it's liberal and they think this shit can never happen to them, or they'll say things like that's what they deserve down south, or that's just a southern thing. Do not think it stops here. It starts here and then it just comes on up your street, But the thing is, you need to stand by us while you can, because guess what? Where the South goes, the country goes. People don't understand that, but you watch the South wash away, that shit just gonna trickle to other parts of the country.
Lauren Boebert complains about being called cisgender. It's a slur.
What?
I regard cisgender as a slur, she said. I'm with Elon Musk. The word cisgender is ridiculous and a slur, she wrote over the weekend. I'm a woman. I don't need a qualifier. All right. Once again, these are people that hold office, and a person like her, one of the stars of the Republican Party, one of the needle movers of conservatism, is a person like this. Revered college basketball coach uses anti-gay slur on radio show. Is Bobby Huggins, who I believe coaches West Virginia men's basketball. Mm-hmm. He called a radio show and they were talking about I think playing against Xavier or something, or recruiting. So here's the First of all, I'm already offended in that they use a Ludacris beat underneath this, and none of them heard Ludacris dead in their life. But okay.
Oh, that's saying no sound, baby.
No sound. Okay, let's try something else. Let me share my screen with y'all. I think y'all were able to hear the last one because I shared my screen. Let's start it again.
Hello. Coach Bob Huggins, you're on the air. I'm sitting here with Steve Muller in the segment.
What would make you think I wanted to talk to you?
They hearing it now?
I don't know. Can y'all hear it now? Let me know. Nobody said they couldn't hear.
Okay.
Hey, Coach. Now, we're telling the Huggins stories, but we had a cut at which you kind of took a little shot at me as not being a trustworthy person. Would you want to revise and extend those remarks?
Absolutely not.
Hey, Hugs, I told him I thought it was missing.
So, number one, it's already kind of a jovial sports call-in, talk to the coach type of moment. I get it. That's not always a bad thing. I've listened to plenty of segments like this with the quarterback of the local team or whatever, and they're just palling around. So far, so good. It's corny, but it's just it's sports radio, and that's fine.
Understood. Taken out of context. It was out of context.
I don't know. It must have been my thoughts at the time.
Now, Steve also tells me that you have the best portal transfers. Have you poached any Xavier guys to come to play for West Virginia?
Catholics don't do that.
No, we're above the fracas, aren't we? No problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tell you what, any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, my God, they can get away with anything.
So I think the joke there is that during some college game, students or fans must have throwing the other team, throwing rubber penises on according to Bobby Huggins, throwing rubber penises on the floor to taunt the other team, and then he's saying they lied and said they didn't do it or something, or throwing one on the floor or something like that. Who knows?
Rubber penis. Was this
I think that was at the Crosstown shootout, wasn't it?
It was transgender night, wasn't it?
What?
Was that?
Already.
Oh, no!
I'm gonna tell you what's when I listen to this clip, what's wild? That dude is you're gonna see got let off the hook. Because I feel like that comment by itself would have been enough for somebody to be like, hey, the fuck is going on at the radio station? Bobby Crimmins says, I see your
what? Hold my bill.
Yeah, you said hold my
That it?
It was a crosstown shootout. Yeah, no, what it was all those fags, those Catholic fags, I think. So.
Oh no!
Yeah,
he was
F-bomb.
like, oh, you know what? I'll do you one better.
Yep.
And they was like, you know what? We'll let that first one slide. This second offense was even worse.
All right.
I do appreciate, and this happens all the time when someone fucks up. There's always like a second of silence because it didn't get the laugh he thought it was gonna get, and the silence is them all knowing. Well, you can't say that.
Those Catholic fags, I think. So.
Why I get so quiet? The one dude, transgender dude, probably thought it was hilarious, and then looked around, saw no one else was laughing.
It was like, can't say that.
They were envious they didn't have one.
Well, Steve, your comments about Bob Huggins. Is he the best?
He's the best.
The best.
Got his ass on off the line too.
Imagine he's saying he's the best after that comment. Oh my god!
I mean, and all jokes aside, all I can hear is throw them blows. Like the whole time they talking, that's all I'm hearing in my head.
Is he the best assistant coach you ever had?
Who?
Steve Muller.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, anybody who can rent 2 rooms, get a chair, put a pizza in between the 2 rooms so that he can talk to Herb Jones for 2 days, he's the best.
All right, I don't know. I didn't get that reference. You know, another thing I found interesting there, and not to toot our horn, but this is like the lowest form of radio for me. I hate when it's just
I'm about to say
because they didn't ask him anything. He really didn't say anything funny, to be honest. They were just already hopped up to say anything he said was hilarious. And just anytime you can get 2 minutes with a celebrity on your radio show, you're just like excited, but nothing really happened there that was good. Now they did get that homophobic comment, but they didn't mean to stumble into that controversy.
That was not the purpose of the call.
Yeah, but most of the call consisted of it's Bobby Huggins. He's on the line, guys. Hey, Coach Huggins. What you think? How you doing?
I mean,
you good? Oh my God!
Yeah, everybody looking like, but y'all the professionals. Come on now.
Coach Bobby. We're just one of the guys. We're just joking around, man. Hey, what do you think about him? He's a real piece of shit, right? Oh man. Oh boy. Like that's what it was, but
I'm like you. I think, and it's just me, and nothing against people who love talk sport radio like that. But I stopped watching years ago because of that. I was like, this is not this is boring. This is not entertaining.
It's corny,
to me, and you're not learning anything about the person.
It's corny. It's corny, and y'all didn't say shit. Y'all didn't say anything except for the homophobe part, which you didn't mean to say.
Nope.
It's also
your boy did, but
yeah.
Dude was like, you know what?
And who doesn't know you can't say that?
Right.
That's insane to me. We are fucking, it's 2023. I'm not even talking about you having to be a good person. I'm not even talking about what your actual beliefs are. I'm just talking about the rules. Don't we all know you can't say that? Who the person sitting around like, I think you can still say the F words. Like who's left that got that belief system? He tweeted an apology later. Earlier today on the Cincinnati radio program, I was asked about the rivalry between my former employer, the University of Cincinnati, and its crosstown rival, Xavier University. During the conversation, I used a completely insensitive and abhorrent phrase that there's simply no excuse for, and I won't try to make one here. I deeply apologize to the individuals I've offended, as well as to the Xavier University community, University of Cincinnati, and West Virginia University. As I have shared with my players over my 40 years of coaching, there are consequences for our words and actions. I'll fully accept anything coming my way. I'm ashamed, embarrassed, and heartbroken for those I've hurt. I must do better, and I will. Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen to him.
I don't think anything good.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be shocked if it was barely anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially since it's out of season. So you don't even have to really worry about it. I also wouldn't be shocked if it was like a 1-game suspension to start the season or something, because at the end of the day, they don't care.
And it'd be preseason game.
When you have the lives of young men in your hands, every fucking year. You're supposed to teach these kids about values of life. You go into their houses, you talk to their parents, you tell them about what the values you're going to instill in them. You're going to treat them like your own kids and all this shit. And here's the thing, regardless of how people fucking feel, some of those fucking kids are gay, dog. Some of those kids are LGBTQ because of the sheer percentages. And this person is introducing X amount of new kids to his program every single year. What fucking messages he sending? Not to mention, let's say 0 of them were gay. What messages he sending to the straight dudes, the cisgender dudes on his team? That it's okay to disrespect people like this, to joke like this. If he was willing to joke like this on the radio, who knows what the fuck he says to those kids in the locker room when he's mad at the team? It's shit like this to me is unacceptable, you know. And it'll probably end up being a blip on the radar, maybe brought up once or twice once the season start, and then they'll just move on because I think people don't expect anything of them.
If they bring it up then, because basketball season is so far away, it's fall. So,
yeah,
you got the whole summer for this shit to breeze over.
North Dakota governor is signing a bill he signed a bill into law that allows teachers to misgender their students. And it also requires schools to out trans kids to their parents. So this is what we're dealing with, man. At least 5 Chicago LGBTQ plus bars have dropped Anheuser-Busch for weak statements about transphobia. They literally pissed everybody off. They succeeded.
That's what you said. You was like, y'all lost either way. You might as well backed up what you said, because you made them people mad and they said fuck you. Then you made the people you will support mad, so they go fuck you. So you please nobody. So basically, you have the people that temporarily bought your shit and then they're not gonna buy it no more. And then you have the people that was like, we support you, and they're not buying it no more. So I'm pretty sure you got a stock hit. When it's like this, you please put like this. And I truly feel like this. If you are not going to stand behind it, fucking stay neutral and let people criticize your ass. Just go, we sell beer to Republicans too, and keep it pushing. If you ain't gonna say that bullshit, just don't stand, because you said the statement and you really didn't want to stand behind it.
Yeah, I called this, and I feel like I didn't even think about it at the time, but if you go into a LGBTQ bar, you probably can't order this shit. No, even if it was your favorite beer. I'm not saying it's right. but just you can't even be like, yeah, let me get a Bud Light. If you serve it, you probably can't move it right now. It's like no one's ordering the Bud Light on tap because don't nobody want to be affiliated with that shit over here. So yeah, you probably do got people dropping it. But most importantly, I did say this what happened, you know, and it went down exactly like I thought it would happen.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Because I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say what happened when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Now nobody's pleased. So like I said, truth be, just stay neutral. Like not, and maybe, like I said, it's generational thing. You're a business. I do not expect you to have moral standards. You're a fucking business. Just sell me whatever the fuck you gonna sell me. Let me buy it. We exchange and we'll keep it pushing. When you start making these stances, you need to stand behind them. If you're not willing to stand behind them, just fucking be neutral.
It's just the thing I've said about like why black people still have a lot of misgivings about the NFL, despite their obvious expenditure and support of a lot of pro-black causes over the last few years. Because we don't feel like you're in a fight with us. Because when the tough parts, the things that we get pushback on is for optics. It's you need to look like you care. You need to have 4 feet down. You need to be saying shit with your chest and taking the consequences. If you want to engender goodwill with black people, if that's truly your goal, I'm not appreciative of the money that's spent, but that's not what it's gonna take. It's gonna take you catching what the NBA catches. It's going to take people like Phil Jackson turning on your league because you had Black Lives Matter on the court during the bubble. When that happens, I'm mad at Phil Jackson. I think that fucking sucks. He seems like an asshole for that. But the other thing I'm thankful for is the NBA, because I'm like, okay, like I know you're a corporation, but you took an L for that.
Yes,
There's some people that are very vocally who are supposed to be in your corner against you because you said we're not taking this off, and you knew that was a thing that would happen, and you've done it many times at this point, enough for me to feel like I love watching the NBA partially because of how they get down. And I think that's the difference with like the NFL. And so to then take that back to LGBTQ issues, there's a difference between we put a rainbow on a can, we put a transgender person in our ad, and then we put this Millie Mouth ass statement out and you take it all back. Like you took it all back. That you might as well have done nothing.
Yes.
You know, it's worse. It's like Karen said, you should have stayed neutral. It's literally worse than doing nothing.
Right. Because what happens is that all jokes aside, this is a smack up in the face to the people that came up with the idea. Cause you know when this shit has checked and double checked, people approved, like it went through legal, like shit. A company this big, shit just don't happen. So it's an insult to the whole fucking team that worked on this. So now you have people outside mad, but now you got people internally highly upset because you went back on your word.
All right, let's get into some other news. All right, everybody. This is always a tough segment. But you know, I feel like it's important to talk about it, especially us being cisgender people. You know, I think I don't know. There's a lot of podcasts I think don't feel comfortable even talking about this stuff.
Agreed.
Not because of their own like hangups and bigotry. We all have things, but I think because everyone's so scared to quote unquote mess up, and everyone's so scared to have a conversation or talk about something that isn't their experience. And I think just on my own personal point of view, it's important, especially then. You know, it's important, especially then. And then also like, we are going to mess up. We aren't going to always get it right. We don't know everything. There's going to be shit we don't understand. There's going to be things that change over time, but I think it's important to see people like do that. Because I think too, right now what the default is everyone either peer pressures themselves into just, I can't understand. I don't even want to talk about it. Or they say like low key bigoted shit and then hide behind humor and shit. And I don't want to do that here. I would like to do something different in a lot of these other shows and try to be better and be better for other people and be better than we were yesterday and be our best selves. And I think that doesn't happen if we don't talk about this shit. So that's why we always talking about it. And it's one of the reasons I'm glad to be back home, because when I was in New York, I really didn't have time to research and find all these articles all the time, man. And I'm glad to be back home because this is a segment that's near and dear to my heart that we didn't get to do all the time. All right, let's get into some other news. Hot fire. All right. There's some articles to talk about. Cardi B to seize another $640 from Tasha K's YouTube earnings.
Cardi B said, bitch, I'm taking every penny. Put like this, I don't care direct deposit. I don't care paycheck, tax return, it's mine.
Right. All she really wanted is money.
Come on.
Damn. Oh man, I normally
don't blame her either.
Yeah, I normally try to stay out of like I'm not team petty and all that shit, and I normally do try to avoid that feeling. But I'm a human being too. This woman, I guess she found out that Cardi B is willing to push it back as far as she's willing. Like,
yep.
She was like, okay, cool.
All she wanted was an apology. Like she was like, just apologize and say it ain't true. And can you just like several times cease and desist? So it's not like she wasn't willing to work with her. It got to the point where she was like, oh, and try me funny, you know, and me, I try my best not to get in that zone, but to an extent, I kind of got that characteristic in me where I'm like, okay, fuck it. And once I get to that point, I'm very dogmatic. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I said what I said. No, bitch, you gonna pay. I don't care if you paying me off to your fucking 65.
I think
want every
everybody,
dime.
I think everybody has that. We're all, it's only human. Some people jump to it faster than others. Some people want to be the Tasha K type person. I don't really vibe off of that, but that's the thing I always say. I think people don't necessarily understand, or not even understand. I shouldn't even say that. Don't let me put it. I'm not gonna project on any people that listen to this. I don't know what people think, but I know for me, one of the reasons I try to avoid anger is because of how once I've decided that I'm not turning back most of the time, and normally I'll end up regretting something I've done in anger, but it didn't stop me. And I've never done anything like abusive to anybody like that, but there's been people that have like bullied me that I beat the shit out of. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily regret that I did that, because as y'all can tell from just listening, I was never a person to start some shit. I was never a person to keep harassing somebody. I always want to be left alone. And I actually used to get in trouble at home when I would just fight back on basic stuff. Like if someone just said something mean to me and I hit them, I would get in trouble at home. So I didn't do those things because I just didn't want to get in trouble. But there's been some times I had to defend myself, or I just I was like, the next time I'm gonna fuck this person up. And I think that's why I can relate to this story, because Tasha K feels like the kind of person that wouldn't leave you alone when you tried to be nice. And so now it's like I'm going to be just as dogmatic about how you about getting my justice or my revenge or whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't even call it revenge, but getting what is owed to me. I'm gonna be just as dogmatic as you were about not letting the shit go when you knew you were wrong.
Right, keep that same energy, like I said, and I'm like you. This is one reason why I am very thankful. As I got older, I've learned how to logically think about things and get my emotions under control. So I rarely do that. But when I was a little bit younger, yes, that because there have been things that have happened to me, and I'm like you. This is me. I mind my business. I don't bother nobody. I don't say nothing to nobody, and I don't start shit. And I try my best to de-escalate. My whole thing is de-escalation. I would try my best to do that. And I could see again to the point where you're like, okay, I have exhausted every avenue. Okay, fuck it. And I've been at that fuck it mode. And when I get to that fuck it mode, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna meet you with the same energy you meet me. And the thing is, sometimes people don't realize how low people can go when they get in that mode. Like, she just thought, yeah, she is a celebrity. She won't really come after me. A lot of people's like, no.
I'll make the time.
Right.
And honestly, dog, don't object to me getting my lick back.
Right.
Like I don't like those people. Don't object to me defending myself. Like, because I know people that then want to pop up after all the shit done went down. Like, can't we just be cool? I mean, look, we both black people or whatever. Like, if you sat up there and didn't say shit when it was happening, keep not saying shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't like that shit. But yeah, at any rate, she's keeping that same energy. Mm-hmm. A company is offering Fast and Furious fans $1,000 to binge watch all 10 films.
Ooh, that's a binge watch for real. How many hours is that? 75?
20+ hour duration of the Fast and Furious movie series. They're calling them Fast and Furious claims adjusters. I guess that's the advertising. It says $1,000 plus $100 to cover the cost of any streaming fees, movie tickets, and snacks. As a bonus, you'll get healthy education about the value of family. The position includes creating a list of every car collision, detailing the number of incidents, the severity of the harm, and the identifying the vehicles involved. Now get the fuck. It's impossible. There's so much. No one could possibly keep up.
It's a million.
It's got to be people in the background. It's got to be
people in the foreground. People on the corner of the screen.
The motherfucking Lego ass physics on them cars. Yes! Helicopters crashing into each other.
This is hilarious.
We're curious if the number of wrecks in these.
Also, what family car justice? The fuck is this?
We're curious if the number of wrecks in these movies has increased or decreased over the franchise history. That's where you come in. Finance Buzz intends to use the data in car insurance stories about the ways in which accidents affect expenses. This is just a good advertisement for them.
Yeah, cause guess what? My car in real life, I can't drive down the road, and even if I do have some strong ass cable and carry bank vaults, like that shit not happening. My car can't do that.
Individuals interested in the position must be over 18 and apply before May 19th. The selected candidate will be informed a week following the application deadline. The winner will be given a 2-week period to watch all the movies in the series and note every crash damage. The newest edition of the franchise is scheduled to be launched May 19th. Hell no. Absolutely the fuck not.
It's not worth it. You don't have to pay more than $1,000. It take you forever to get through that shit.
President Biden wants airlines to compensate travelers for cancellations and delays.
Yeah, they should. They should
fix it, Joe Byron.
Yeah, they should, because a lot of these airlines have been fucking around since the pandemic. Just canceling shit, rearranging shit, not wanting to get refunds. Like they had to force them to fucking say, don't give vouchers, fucking pay people. It put like this, you cancel. How you gonna give me a motherfucking voucher, bitch? You canceled.
On Monday, administration unveiled proposals for regulations that would mandate airlines to offer compensation and reimburse expenses to passengers left stranded due to disruptions caused by the companies. Especially after like Southwest debacle.
Yes.
Like there's no excuse for that. And then also we gave the airplane companies our tax dollars
to bail them out.
We bailed them out during the pandemic, and then they still ended up raising all the prices and shit. They still ended up with staffing shortages for not paying people. So where the fuck did the money go? And at this point, it's almost like a government service. So if you fuck up, I should get something, because y'all definitely taking my shit without refunds and all kinds of weird ass rules. But when I fuck up,
yeah, the bags you got to be a size of your luggage got to be a size of a fucking textbook, unless I'm getting feed and all this other crazy shit. Yes, yeah, pay me my money back. Like you said, we have bailed them out twice, and on top of that, the thing is, excuse me, with the money they gave y'all money so that you could actually keep people employed, so you wouldn't have this massive layoff of COVID. But they turned around and they was like, who want to retire? So you had a bunch of people retire. And so now when people got back to flying again, you're fucking short of staff. That's how we got this staff shortage of shit, because y'all had all these people that were trained that y'all just didn't want to pay. Y'all was just like, all right.
All right. I do hope that airlines will be required to offer passengers cash, miles, or travel vouchers when the companies are at fault for cancellations or delays.
And it should be your choice, because everybody don't want vouchers. They want their motherfucking money back.
Tory Lanez denied bid for new trial over Megan Thee Stallion shooting.
Good.
Yeah, they tried to have the judge removed. His defense team had argued the guilty verdicts of the 3 felonies brought against him in December were a miscarriage of justice. They swear this nigga is Martin Luther King. They swear this nigga is Mandela. Boy, like anybody on this earth was looking at this Canadian nigga as a civil rights leader that needed, like COINTELPRO was out here like, we got to get Tory Lanez. He doing too much for the black community. The lawyer, I swear I could be this. I could be a lawyer for this dude. This is not a hard job. You don't need a law degree to do this. You really telling me this man looked at any evidence before he walked in there today and says a miscarriage of justice? I could have wrote this on the way to the fucking court office, to the wherever they do courtrooms at. What is it called, Karen?
The
courthouse.
Courthouse, yeah.
I could have written this on the way to the courthouse. It's that easy. God, I bet he got paid a lot of money too. Oh yeah, my client is a miscarriage of justice. He's an honorable man.
Hey, he's seen that. We're gonna lose this. Yeah,
Megan Thee Stallion shot herself and set my client up. He's not guilty, Your Honor. I'm not even sure I was going through this kangaroo court. I put the whole system on trial. You don't care.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, you can't handle Rockefeller Records are the real CMB. You just making shit up. You
ain't got shit on me.
This is not a real fucking.
I I put all you bitches in jail.
It's
It's
not
all
a-
you.
It's not a real trial.
No, it's not.
Get the fuck out of here. I could do this. I already know how it go.
You're the one who's guilty. Lawmakers, the politicians, the Colombian drug lords, all you who lobby against making drugs legal, just like you did with alcohol during the Prohibition. You're the one who's guilty. I mean, come on, let's kick the ballistics here. Ain't no Uzis made in Harlem. I mean, not one of us in here owns a poppy field.
That's what I'll be right up in there. I rest my case,
Miss Hawkins.
Your Honor.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. This is big business.
This is bigger than Tory Lane. This is big business.
Big business.
This is the American way.
This is the Canadian way.
I'm sure that the court was enlightened by your geopolitical tirade, Mr. Brown. Fortunately, society at large is not on trial here. You are Mr. Brown. Were you or were you not head of the narcotics consortium, the murderously bloody CMB?
Yes.
I could not hear you. Would you please speak up, Mr. Brown?
Yes, I was a member. But I was forced into this way of life. Hey, look, I've been dealing drugs ever since I was 12 years old. See, I didn't have the chances that you had, Miss Hawkins. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Miss Hawkins. That's what I would say, and I would defend Corey.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's guilty, he's gonna go to jail. So it's not like what I have to say is changing anything. But if I just have to say something, yeah, this sounds, honest to God, listening to what they said, it sounds like they made it up.
Yep.
They were like, there were errors in the trial. It was like, they spelled his name with a Y, with an I one time on one of the papers. I'm like, what?
Oh, mistrial. Just mistrial everything.
They also said that the old lawyer did a poor job of defending Tory Lanez, and they shot that down. The judge said no.
No.
And you know why? Because his old lawyer had the same facts to work with as the new lawyer.
Right.
So it really, if you did it, there's really no defense against the fact that you did. Other than me just coming in there and saying, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, Ms. Hawkins. I can do this job. I know there's a lot of lawyers listening, they disagree because they went to school for it and all that. I swear to God, this is the easy part of the job. I don't know if I could go look up all the statutes and shit, but did you? You clearly have a guilty client going to jail. I can do that part by my damn self. That ain't nothing. I could do
That ain't nothing.
I could definitely do the closing and opening arguments for sure. I could definitely do all the press stuff with the media. I could do all that easily. Shit, man. Hire me if you guilty. Let's give it a shot. Fuck it. You just gonna blame Rockefeller Records at the end of the day anyway.
Right?
We skipped that part in the beginning. All right. This is trying to get into some serious news. Okay, guys, we gotta talk about this fucking with black people. Okay, because people's getting fucked with. All right. Let me pull out my fucking with black people intro. Boom.
We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey, you are.
I totally forgot before we get into fucking with black people. This is totally my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump was found to have sexually abused E. Jean Carroll. He's been on trial, civil trial, about her sexual assault.
Wow, this been underneath. I'm looking like what?
A judge. You haven't heard about this?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's been everywhere. A judge has
Okay.
found that he sexually abused her. A panel of 6 men and 3 women also found that Trump injured her and defamed her and awarded her more than $4 million.
Woo!
Yeah, is at the Met. It was good. Glad they got him. I don't know if she'll ever get the money and stuff. I saw her smiling walking out the courthouse. Dope. And then the second thing, because I just want to get these out the way, is I don't really have, as you can tell, we don't really need or have anything to add to this because I think he did it, and I thought he always did it. So civilly, at least, he's being forced to admit that he did it. The second one is Tucker Carlson announced he's relaunching his show on Twitter. Makes sense. Elon Musk runs Twitter. He's clearly a conservative.
Oh yeah.
Secondly, he's supposedly foregoing his $25 million a year non-compete clause just so he can get out here. Here's what I want to add to it that I don't know if anybody said yet or not. I haven't listened to anyone's takes. I just heard this today. The obsession these media people have with Twitter is fucking crazy.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't make sense. This shit is so wild because Twitter is such a small bubble of very extreme ideas on both sides of the spectrum, like super liberal, wrapped up people, super conservative, trolling ass people, and they're basically hyper partisan and hyper obsessed with the news and all this political fighting they do all day, and which words you can't say and which words you can, and who, and furries and fucking furries and litter boxes in schools. Like there is it's full of bots. It's just such a contentious place, and media people are drawn to it, the good and the bad. People on MSNBC are hyper aware and drawn to it. The people on fucking Fox and OAN are hyper aware and drawn to it. Trump was hyper aware and drawn to it. And it is a very small audience of people that don't really watch TV. And they don't have time for long form content.
Nope.
So to me, this seems like a stupid business idea. Not like, maybe I'll be wrong, but running to the place where they retweet and stuff, I see where the mind thinks, especially if you're the person being talked about, your mind thinks is a huge place. It's like, oh, look, our shit goes viral because the liberals get so mad and the conservatives share my content to agree with it, that we should just put the show on Twitter. That sounds like a good idea anecdotally. But when you look at stuff like the ratings for like Succession compared to like a network TV show, I don't know, say Abbott Elementary or something, and people would, or not even Abbott Elementary, let's say a show that you don't really fuck with like that you're like, who watches that? Those shows all have much bigger ratings than Succession because everybody that watches Succession tweets about it. But the 20 million people that watch these big network shows, they not on Twitter fighting about it or nothing. They not on Twitter sharing the content all the time. They're just watching the show the way you passively watch TV in every other situation. And I think these media people get so focused with the social media interaction that they lose the fucking plot. I hope this is the beginning of a downfall for him in a way, because this is what I hope. I don't know if it'll happen, but I feel like this is a stupid move that he'll look back and be like, TV don't work on Twitter.
That, and you can tell that they have not been paying attention to the shit that's been happening to Elon Musk, because this is some of the shit to Elon Musk. Like you said, they look at these numbers and they go, well, if everybody give $1, it don't work like that, bitch. You might get one of a half of a percent
Unless
to do
Elon,
anything and to financially support you on Twitter.
Unless Elon Musk is literally paying this man, I don't know what the fuck the reasoning could be to go to Twitter. Maybe it won't happen.
Better off branching off and literally starting your own shit from scratch.
Yeah, maybe it just won't happen or something. But this is one of the most ridiculous navel gazing bullshits I've ever heard. All right, now to fucking with black people. Now this is an article from thegrio.com written by Monique Judge.
Okay.
The definitive ranking of chicken pieces in order from best to worst.
Okay.
So
it's a chicken top 5.
She put this is what she says. Okay, starting with the best, going to the worst. The best, the chicken thigh. The best piece of chicken. She said chicken thigh is the best piece of chicken in the entire bunch. Whenever I go somewhere and get chicken, whether it's Popeyes, Church's, or Roscoe's, I always ask for all thighs. Don't bother giving me any other piece because I'm definitely going to complain and send them back. Chicken thighs are perfect. They have the most meat and they are tender and juicy. Chicken thigh is also the best piece for smothering. I agree.
I like
When
the
you want-
smothered thigh.
When you want to smother some chicken, you want to smother the pieces that are going to be worth the effort of your fork and knife. And baby, the only piece that fits the bill is the chicken thigh. Any other piece going to involve your fingers and eating, and not with the gravy anyway. Chicken thighs are superior to every other piece. Please go argue with your auntie who still hasn't quite mastered making potato salad yet, because I already stopped listening 5 minutes ago.
That jokes.
She's speaking the truth. She is spitting. Okay. I shared this. I tagged her on Facebook. I said, ma'am, thank you. It's about time. Second,
it's the top 5 commandments. 1.
It's the 10 wing commandment. Second one is chicken wings. What's not to love about chicken wings? I would say they're the most balanced piece of bird because there's something for everyone here. That's true. That is true. You can get into the flats and the drums, you know. He says I stand firmly on the flat side, but guess what? I'll tear some drums up. That's the thing that the flat versus drum thing lost me with. And it's the reason I don't even get into debate. People act like there's a type of chicken wing they wouldn't eat. You can argue what's better, but honestly, it's all gonna be bones if you sit it on my plate, player.
Yeah, I don't care.
I ain't quibbling.
Flats, drums, I'm eating everything.
Delicious.
Tip without the tip.
When it comes down to flats versus under the okay, she said wings that have that juicy tender meat thing going with that the thighs have, but wings have more bones to contend with. That's why they in second. It's okay though, because those bones are small enough to chew on, and don't act like I'm the only person that chew on chicken bone, or at least gnaw at it to get all the meat off. It's delicious. Yeah. Nothing more offensive to people that leave all the meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Go ahead and get chicken nuggets. Why are you playing with this chicken?
You're a Nazi. Honestly. I've never met a good person.
Why are you playing with this chicken?
Good people don't leave all that meat on the bone. Something was wrong with the way you was raised. It's not your fault. It's clearly your parents inadequately raised you, but ain't no place in my life for that type of behavior. Drumsticks are for children and picky eaters like my best friend Tiffany.
My favorite part. I like the chicken thighs and I like the wings, but my favorite piece is the leg. I love a good leg.
It's why it's not last, you know. It's why it's not last. It is simple to eat. It's not much bone to deal with. The meat is just as succulent, juicy as meat on chicken thigh.
Yep.
But it just isn't enough of it for me. That's my thing. It's just not enough meat. It's like I would like to like the chicken thigh. I feel like there's several bites in that thing. The drumstick, I feel like 2 to 3 bites, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm already out of chicken. Are you serious right now?
I'm like, yes, let's go to the next piece.
Who's supposed to get full off of that?
That's why you eat 5 of them.
Right. Now I gotta have, so you order your meal, and it's like this is a 6-piece box. If it's 6 drumsticks, I'm very disappointed.
That's why they give you a combo.
Yeah. But that's why you don't see anybody sell just the drumsticks. Everybody's been like, you want a drumstick combo? Now the last one, this is where it's gonna get controversial. Obviously, y'all can tell what it is. She said, throw the chicken breast away.
The thing about chicken breast done right is excellent. Chicken breast done wrong is the most driest piece of rubbery brick you could taste.
Let's get to her reasoning. She said, I swear the whole chicken breast, a healthier thing, is just a marketing campaign to get people to eat dry ass white meat chicken. No one wants white meat chicken. It's not delicious. It's not even appealing. It's just a mixed meal. Any chicken place. I'm at least ask for wings, legs, and thighs. I can make that work. I do always ask for dark meat. What I can't make work, however, chicken or breast. Here's the thing for me with chicken breast. I've had good chicken breast. Almost never from a fast food place. Almost never. Almost never from a restaurant, if I'm being honest. Chicken breasts are so hard to get right because you have to basically take it out at the perfect temperature right at the right time, or else you overcook it. And obviously you don't want to eat no undercooked chicken. Ever since I got a digital Bluetooth thermometer Flex, that connects to my phone app, I can make a split chicken breast and it can be fucking perfect. Like, cause I pull it out, boom, everything's cool. But if you fucking eyeball the chicken breast, it's gonna for most people it's gonna be dry.
Yes,
and if it's not dry, that means you got to do a whole bunch of other shit. Brine it, marinate it, let it sit overnight. That's cool because I'll do that to make it good if I bought one. But the problem with that is I don't got to do that shit for the other pieces we name. Them other pieces, optional if I want to do that. If I want to take it to the next level, sure I can. But them pieces is good, period. Especially a thigh. Thigh got a margin of error that's just goddamn ridiculous. Okay, it's got a margin of error like a 538 pole. This shit don't shit can mean anything. Okay, but the breast and stuff is like fuck. It was 3 minutes too long. Well, this is trash. I might as well throw this shit away. No, I want no dry ass chicken breast. She said KFC actually has or had, maybe they changed it by now, this thing called a center breast. That's basically all the rib cage meat. And baby, why would you do this to someone? Throw chicken breast away or give them to your puppy. Love yourself enough to want to eat juicier parts of chicken without shame. You can disagree with this ranking all you want, but deep down in your heart and chicken loving soul, you know I'm right. It's pretty close to barbecue season. Bust them chicken thighs out, please. Yes, Monique. Say that shit. All right, Karen. 0 to 100.
I'm not fucked with.
0 for Karen, and honestly, 0 for me. Okay. I'll eat at Monique's house anytime. All right. She got a good head on the shoulders, and I like the way she thinks. Sorry to the rest of y'all. I know y'all, those that don't agree, good luck. But you know, the good thing about that disagreement is there's always more chicken breast for you.
Have all the chicken breast you want, baby.
Yeah,
I'll give you all the pieces of the chicken breast.
I'm not fooled by that marketing. Okay, I'll be going in that aisle for the meat, be like, ooh, chicken thighs on sale again.
Yep.
Gas me up, baby. Let's go.
Chicken thighs, chicken quarters be on sale too.
Yeah. Y'all go in there. Y'all go in there feeling the way. Got to pay extra for them breasts. Good luck falling for the white meat again. Sorry. We like them dark over here. I like my chicken meat just like my women. Dark. The darker the better.
I didn't know until I became an adult. I didn't know white from dark. Because I remember when we was at Fairfield State, she was like, what part of chicken you want? I just started naming pieces. White or dark? I don't know.
The darker the meat, the sweeter the juice. That's what I always say. I think that's the saying. I just made it up. Like my chicken, just like I like my women. Dark, thick,
juicy.
Yeah, juicy. Like, are we playing? Who are we playing with? Don't waste my time with that bullshit. All right, now let's wrap this thing up. Let's do some guest race.
What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
West Palm Beach lawyer who had advocated for and represented sexual abuse survivors for the past 20 years had his home raided on March 15th by agents armed with 3 warrants. As soon as the agents came through the door, they found him actively downloading child pornography using peer-to-peer software.
Oh, what's the peer-to-peer?
LimeWire, Napster.
All that type of stuff.
I feel like
I'd be afraid of that shit. Don't that shit get viruses?
I mean, sure, you would be afraid of it, but I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So yes,
I've downloaded mixtapes off of Napster. I just feel like whoever's left there now is just child porn, right? Like, didn't we all leave this behind? Maybe y'all still using it. I don't know. I actually
most people did. They left it behind.
Yeah, I assume people stop fucking with it. Like if someone tells me they had to torrent something now, I'm like, they still make those? You know what I mean? Like, you still out here playing with your life like that? Because I would be scared I'd be trying to torrent something completely legitimate. And because you don't know till you get it, you just fuck around and be like, I thought it was Mario Brothers, and it turned out to be some bullshit that I didn't want to see.
Right.
So I just wouldn't be taking those chances with my life like that. But that being said, this man was. He was a longtime Sunday school teacher who was known for being one of Florida's most active advocates for reforming sexual abuse statutes. Now he's facing 20 years in prison on a child porn possession charge. He claimed to be a survivor of child molestation and made a name for himself, lobbying for HB 525, a bill that passed in 2010 that removed the statute of limitation for cases involving sexual abuse of victims under the age of 16. His work was met with opposition from the Catholic Church. Come on. Come on, man.
Y'all the one protesting?
What? Dog, y'all don't know y'all raps? Oh, maybe they do, and that's what's. Oh my God, I can't imagine weaponizing your church and your religion to be like, whoa, slow down on the getting justice for children survivors of sexual assault. I feel like we got to let bygones be bygones. Okay, if it's been long enough, hey, Newtown, who this? You know what I'm saying?
Oh no!
Even Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, who said that litigating decades-old molestation claims would be unfair. The laws protecting the predators, they are encouraged under the law to silence their victims and threaten them. He said in an interview after the bill was passed, "It was an amazing day when the bill passed. I wept with joy. I was overwhelmed by relief." Oh God. I feel like in the court they can just play his old clips. Like, remember when you had said? Remember?
This is back to what I say. A lot of people can do great things and do terrible things.
I want to see a clip of this motherfucker talking about what needs to happen to pedophiles, and then they should do whatever he said in that clip.
Yeah, somebody said, but the furries. Right, but the furries.
I just want to see him back in the day being like, listen, I think these 6 sons of bitches need to be going to jail for life. We need to castrate them. We need to kill them. And it's just like, okay, all right. Well, you did say. But yeah, they said that during the raid, they were forced to enter his residence as a result of a forceful breach of the door when he did not respond to commands by law enforcement to come to the door. Tactical surveillance and entry teams revealed that he was alone in the residence, awake on the bed at the time the FBI's personnel first knocked. The FBI affidavit says his laptop had folders open containing multiple illicit images. One sole folder was titled "Sweet Pedo Stars." Sir.
Oh no!
It had images of a girl between 9 and 11. Yeah, nigga under jail. Under the jail. They just said at least almost 2,000 images were on his computer. So you can't even.
Damn.
Yeah, this is his thing. But yeah, he's waiting arraignment. His case scheduled for mid-April. Guess the race?
White.
Karen's going white. Shout out to the Catholic Church. God damn, y'all brazen. The home of J.L. Covan. Boy, I swear to God. Couldn't be me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, listen, you cut off Amazon, you might as well cut off the church too. Because I'd rather stream something on Amazon Prime than to be up in them pews. Okay. They put that ew in pew, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh no!
White creepypasta white as the nut on the keyboard. Oh, going to the booty house white men that need to drink bleach. White like the smoke from the Vatican. That's good. That is good, Mary. The correct answer is white. Y'all got it. The irony of him being the dude that got the legislation passed is crazy.
Right.
What kind of cognitive dissonance does he have to be living with? Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. Jail, niggas. Bye. And that's why I'm not abolishing prisons yet. Some people got to go. Let's see. Principal sends $100,000 of school funds to fake Elon Musk and then claims she was groomed.
Oh.
A high school principal in Florida has resigned after school board members discovered she'd written a $100,000 check from the school's funds to someone posing as Elon Musk online.
So what? It's Principal Shirley Brown at the elementary school with the elementary school address .edu on the check. The fuck is this?
Why would he need his one thing that you do know about him is supposedly he's a billionaire.
Right, he's a billionaire.
Why would he pay $44 billion to a website he subsequently ruined, but still need your 100,000?
Make it make sense.
She wanted to raise money for the school and had been trying to get Musk to notice her for some time. When someone posing as Musk made contact with her, she seemed to believe it. The faux Musk convinced her to write them $100,000 check and claimed it would lead to Musk investing $6 million in the school. Somehow she believed it. Now, first of all, you can't educate no kids. You stupid.
The kid's smarter than you.
Yeah, I can't let you. You can't put my kid's life in your hands. Like you open the door for the school shooters too? What's wrong with you?
Right this way, Mr. Shooter.
Right. It's a person with a gun outside. Lock the doors, and the person knock on the door. Hello, it's me. Oh, sorry. I know it's the school shooter. It's not. No, it's a housekeeping. Oh, come on in. Come on in. The kids right here. I'll show you what they rooms. He must have been really convincing, said Albert Alma Fatano. I am a very smart lady, well educated, and I fell for a scam, she said during the meeting of the boards and teachers. Boy, God, I need the audio from this. Well, then she said Musk impersonator had groomed her, invoking a term that's popular among Republicans right now. Grooming is when you talk to someone, you believe in them, and you get them to trust them, and that this is really real, and so I fell for it. That is not the same.
No.
Grooming is when you get somebody underage.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But you know what though?
If you think
about it, grooming is the way she described grooming to me is how Republicans get votes from white people.
I can see that.
And it makes me think she's in those circles with Republicans and that she thinks grooming is anything bad, you know? Like they're big for taking a word, changing the meaning into just something that
because
I don't like.
Grooming, I was like, nah, that's not my definition of grooming.
Critical race theory, like what even is that? She wrote the $100,000 check directly from the school funds, something she wasn't authorized to do. It's written out to someone named Luis Alberto Fernandez.
What? It's not even written out to Elon Musk,
who she believed was Musk's right-hand man. In the memo space, she wrote matching funds. She apologized during the meeting. I put myself into this position, into this mess, and I made a bad decision. Well, girl, you put the whole school district in it.
And the thing that's wild about it is the simple fact that you wouldn't authorize it. I bet you her cat was like, you can only do $5,000.
Right.
And she was like, go ahead
and
take
out $20 cash from petty cash. That's her limit.
Max.
3 other administrators say she created a toxic work environment. I want to hear them out because I bet it was more than just chat.
Yes.
And they refused to keep working with her. Then she resigned and left the meeting with her husband, who was a teacher, but also resigned. Was her husband's name Luis Alberto Fernandez?
She rejected him.
Anyway, guess the race of Dr. Jan McGee.
Dr. Jan McGee is white.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Legally blind girl, white. She a dumbass like that slowness DeSantis, white. Also donated to Clarence Thomas's vacation fund.
Oh no!
Creamer, white. The correct answer is white. Love that the still pic shot they have is Dr. Jan McGee. I am a very smart lady, well educated. I fell for a scam.
No, ma'am.
Oh my goodness.
No, ma'am. You didn't have no choice but to leave, and your husband got to go too. Neither one of y'all could be here.
He could have gotten anyone with this scam.
Why are you the only one we're talking to then?
Right. All right. Karen is 2 for 2 right now.
Yay!
Bonus round. Oh wait. Let me play it in with something different. One have to always move slow.
That was why I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get the race.
Gold chain wearing fried chicken and biscuit eating monkey, eat baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball
dunking. Poultry crime wave continues as a man is busted for chicken battery on brother.
Chicken battery. What kind of batter was on that chicken?
Nah, that's what I want to know. A Louisiana man, well, it must have been Popeyes. I don't know. A Louisiana man is behind bars after allegedly clobbering his brother in the head with a frozen bag of chicken. Ooh. Oh, that sounds like it hurt.
I know that shit feel like bricks.
Now, in that case, I would wish it was drumsticks.
You don't want the breast on that one.
I don't want to be hit with no thighs on that one.
Definitely don't want to get hit with no breast on that one.
The latest in a series of poultry-related crimes plaguing the nation. According to police,
these people attacking people with chicken.
According to police, Tommy Bolwell, 59, battered his sibling late Tuesday evening inside a mobile home they share in West Monroe. The victim said that when he asked Bolwell about the two windows busted out of his residence, his brother became angry and began throwing things at him. Oh, no. He doesn't sound well at all. The victim says Bolwell grabbed a bag of frozen chicken out the freezer and struck him on the side of the head with the poultry. Bolwell allegedly then continued grabbing frozen foods, which he threw at his brother. Sounds like that playing a game of chicken and he lost.
Apparently so.
Frozen chicken. The victim, who refused the medical attention, requested to pursue criminal charges against Bolwell, who was busted on a misdemeanor battery count. He's locked up in lieu of $500 bond.
He was tired of him.
Mm-hmm.
Bust my windows.
Sad to see their relationship fall to pieces of chicken. Bolwell.
What a way to split that chicken.
Yeah. Sorry about these puns. We're just winging it over here, everybody. Bolwell's rap sheet includes collars for aggravated assault, domestic abuse, disturbing the peace, and theft.
I guess he just told you better take them legs and run.
Maybe throwing chicken at his brother was on his bucket list.
Hey.
All right. All right, let's Karen, guess the race.
Oh, white. No, this is white.
All this is white according to Karen, just like the meat.
No hot sauce was involved in this.
Yeah, I wish that would give away some clues, probably.
Yes.
Depending on what kind.
You're right.
Hot
sauce and Tabasco, there's a difference.
Busted him down to the white meat. Oh, we love to see it, Juwan. We love to see it.
Oh, that was good.
The story did take a dark turn. Buckets of chicken whites. White. White. Chickens dying every day. White. Disrespected the chicken white. White people don't waste white because black people don't waste food. That's a good point. And almost all of you guessed right. I think all you guessed white and you all guessed right as well.
Chickens are dying every day, people, at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Really.
I like that there's a poultry crime wave I hadn't been hearing about.
Apparently so.
Mhm.
Oh, he did that.
Yeah. Chicken. That's what he's throwing at him. Chickens die every day, B. All right. That's it for this segment. Let's get into the final segment of the show. Sword ratchetness. He goes to jail. I hope they don't throw the fuck at him. All right. I'm sorry, guys. That I had to get that one out. I'm ashamed of that. I'm not proud of that either. But it was in my head. It was gonna always be in my head unless I said it.
They definitely won't allow him to fly the coop. That's a good one.
Yeah, he's not a flight risk.
That's a good one too.
He's locked up in the pen. Oh, that's more of a pig thing. So, all right, never mind. Forget that last one. That one didn't count.
That one didn't count.
Take that back, guys. All right, they can't all be gems. All right, let's stop sticking our beaks in where they don't belong. A Bellington man is in custody after biting a woman and then cutting her with a sword.
Oh, how you gonna bite me then cut me?
I know. Pick a side.
Please do.
December 21st, troopers with the Philippi detachment of the West Virginia State Police were called to an emergency room at Davis Memorial Hospital in reference to a female patient wishing to make a statement. The victim claimed that Darius Humphrey, 26 of Bellington, bit her on the forearm, then tried to cut out the bite mark using a large sword. Did he think he was getting rid of the evidence?
They won't know I bit you if I carve it out.
They won't be catching. Yeah.
They won't be catching my teeth imprints.
See, I know. See, they use your teeth print to get you. See, that's how they get you. According to the victim, he had gotten drunk the previous night and gotten angry, at which point Humphrey told her he was going to kill her and start choking her. He then bit the victim, became mad because he bit her, stating that the bite mark was evidence again. Oh my God, we right. We were joking, but he thought the bite mark was evidence against him, so he got a sword to try to cut the bite mark off of her arm.
I was bullshitting.
Oh my God, this fucking idiot.
I was kidding, y'all. I didn't realize that was actually gonna be the defense.
He hit her multiple times on various locations on her body throughout the incident, according to the complaint. Eventually, Humphrey passed out and the victim drove herself to the hospital. Troopers observed her wounds, which included a large area with a deep gouge and a cutting mark from the edge of the sword, as well as multiple bruises. The victim was admitted for surgery on her arm. After the troopers left, when officers searched the residence where the incident occurred, they found a cloth with blood stains, a sheath, and a large sword lying on the floor near the bedroom. Humphrey has been charged with malicious assault, currently being held in jail on $50,000 bond. Don't let him out. That's enough. He's done enough. His watch needs to end.
Yes, it does.
All right, y'all. That's it. We'll talk to you. Probably not tomorrow. We may have to do premium show tomorrow and Friday, something like that.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But we'll talk to you soon. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Don't throw no chicken in nobody.